Mexico, and Canada have been invited to join the Trans-Pacific Partnership negotiations, which is an ambitious 21st century trade agreement that will now include 11 countries. And this agreement holds enormous opportunities to boost trade in one of the world's fastest growing regions.
Hello there, everyone. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth TV. Over the last 60 years, there has been a concerted effort by the global elite to formulate a one-world government incrementally through various trade deals. From the General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs to the Free Trade Area to NAFTA, CAFTA, and the SPP, these deals have been advancing globalization at an alarming rate.
Canada now has the support of all participants to join the Trans-Pacific Partnership negotiations.
The TPP already includes 9 Pacific countries with a combined GDP of over $17 trillion. With Canada and Mexico joining in, that would rise to over $20 trillion. Prime Minister Stephen Harper has pushed hard to join the TPP and today won the support of its key member, the US. But Harper would not say what Canada had to agree to join the talks. In addition, some of the terms of the TPP deal are already agreed by the other parties, and Harper cannot change them.
Now, we have agreed, Terry, there is an accession process, so we don't disrupt the negotiations. We're obviously not going to try and undo what's been done. But these negotiations, in our judgment, are at fairly preliminary phases right now.
The TPP is being disguised as a trade deal, when in reality it amounts to a global corporate takeover, where, if implemented, the mega corporations would have the power to lower food standards, raise the prices of medicine, censor the internet, and have more influence and control over individual governments. This agreement has been discussed in secret for the past 2.5 years. However, a leaked document has recently revealed the nefarious agendas of the global elite.
A chapter from the draft agreement leaked Wednesday outlines how it would allow foreign corporations operating in the United States to appeal key regulations to an international tribunal. The body would have the power to override U.S. law and issue penalties for failure to comply with its rulings.
It's been branded as a trade agreement, but really it is enforceable corporate global governance. The agreement requires that every signatory country conform all of its laws, regulations, and administrative procedures to what are 26 chapters of very comprehensive rules, only 2 of which have anything to do with trade. The other 24 chapters set a whole array of corporate new privileges and rights and handcuff governments, limit regulation. In the last negotiation of a big regional agreement, that was the Free Trade Area of the Americas in the 1990s, 34 countries, very complicated agreement. 2 years into the negotiation, the entire draft text was published officially by the governments. Here we are 3 years into this negotiation with 8 countries, and they will not publish a sentence. In fact, it finally leaked that they had signed a special agreement not to release any draft text for 4 years after negotiations are done. Under NAFTA's system, which has some of this, $350 million have already been paid out to corporations by governments over toxics bans, zoning laws, timber rules. This is a sneaky outrage, and if people actually put a spotlight on it, we can stop it.
These are the provisions that allow a corporation to sue a national government if it feels it is not getting the treatment it would be entitled to under NAFTA. The first case against Canada under the investor state provisions was a suit brought by Ethel Corporation from the US that was wanting to market in Canada a gasoline additive called MMT, which is a suspected neurotoxin.
It was stated by our government that we're going to ban additives to fuel that involve methylmanganese because it's harmful to individuals neurologically and otherwise. It's been linked to attention deficit disorder and other problems. But when we passed those laws, the Ethel Group sued our country, said, how dare you pass laws that restrict our trade, and even we're doing it for the benefit of our own country.
Well, Canada, the Canadian government responded to that suit by effectively apologizing to Ethel, by paying them $13 million US in compensation and by withdrawing the ban. So it didn't even have to go through the full adjudication process before Canada backed down.
This is an agreement that ultimately could have the whole world in it as a set of binding corporate guarantees of new rights and privileges enforced with cash sanctions and trade sanctions. It is not an exaggeration to say that the TPP threatens to become a regime of binding global governance. This is an incredible corporate power tool that's only gotten this far because it's been secret, and people in the other countries don't want it either.
SOPA and PIPA were defeated in the U.S. Congress because activists around the country saw what was actually being negotiated and in the bills and said, we will not accept this. And so what you see now, and that's what we're concerned about overall with the TPP and these trade deals, is it's a backdoor way of these corporations to get things they actually can't get through our democratic process.
The anti-counterfeiting trade agreement was recently voted down in the European Parliament, so let's keep that momentum going and continue to expose the TPP for what it really is, a global corporate takeover.